You ever ask an AI for help and get back something, well, useless, vague, generic, maybe just totally wrong? We've all been there. In this explainer, we are diving into Becky Amble's simple but really powerful 5-step clear method. It's designed to help you get exactly what you want from AI every single time. So, how can one little acronym totally change your relationship with AI? Let's get into it. We can all feel it, right? There's this massive, incredible potential with AI, but so often there's this frustrating gap between what we imagine we can get and what we actually get. And that's exactly what we're going to close today. The difference between a mediocre AI response and a brilliant one, it almost always comes down to just one thing: the prompt. On one side, you've got, help me with my project. That's a total shot in the dark. On the other, you have a precise set of instructions that basically guarantees you're going to get something valuable. Author Becky Ample puts it perfectly. The AI isn't being difficult or lazy, it's just incredibly literal. The best way to think about it is like having a super talented assistant who's just waiting for a great manager, that's you, to give them clear, structured directions. So, where does a framework for something as cutting edge as AI even come from? While the answer might surprise you, it all starts on a family farm. Seriously, Becky Amble grew up on a farm, and this core lesson was just part of everyday life. It doesn't matter if you're planting seeds or planning a business strategy, the quality of what you put in directly shapes the quality of what you get out. That simple idea became the foundation for everything. And she had her own big aha moment because of a classic mistake. She asked for info on benchmarking, expecting business strategy, but the AI gave her a super detailed response about engineering. It was that classic garbage in, garbage out moment, proving that farm lesson all over again in a totally new field. And this realization, it wasn't just some passing thought. It kicked off a huge deep dive. We're talking over 3,000 hours and more than $60,000 invested in courses, tools, and just tons of experiments to really, truly understand how to talk to these new AI tools effectively. And through all of that work, all that trial and error, a pattern started to emerge. A systematic way to give instructions that guides AI toward a genuinely useful answer. She took all those patterns and distilled them into this 5-step method she calls the CLEAR framework. Okay, so CLEAR is an acronym, and each letter stands for a critical piece of a really powerful prompt. Let's break down what each of them means. All right, first up, C is for clear and specific. This is your foundation. You have to be super precise about what you want. Why? Because any vague word, any ambiguity forces the AI to guess, and when it guesses, it's often wrong. So breaking big things down into smaller steps, that's how you stay in control. Next up, L is for lens and language. This is huge. Who are you creating this for? Is it for a fellow engineer, a new customer, or your CEO? The audience completely changes the tone, the vocabulary, the context. Telling the AI who it's talking to helps it pull from the right part of its massive knowledge base. Then we have E for explicit expectations. Look, don't leave the format to chance. Do you want a professional email, a bulleted list, a simple table, or a 200-word summary? Be specific. This is like giving your assistant a blueprint instead of just vaguely describing a house. It removes all the guesswork. A stands for adjust and refine. This one's so important to remember. The first output is almost never the final one. You have to think of AI as a conversational partner, not a vending machine. Your first prompt is just the start of a dialogue. You build on it, you refine it, and that's how you get to something exceptional. And finally, R is for role. Okay, this one is a total game changer. Why? Because you're telling the AI to become someone. Act as a skeptical CFO, a curious new customer, a senior developer. The AI then simulates that persona, and the perspective you get is infinitely more valuable than just a generic answer. Okay, so that's the theory behind it all, but what does it actually look like when you put all 5 of those pieces together? Well, the difference is pretty stunning. Just look at this transformation. The before prompt, give me info on the market. That's a lottery ticket. You might get lucky, but you probably won't. But the after prompt, it uses the whole CLEAR framework. It assigns a role, it defines the lens and the language for a leadership team, sets explicit expectations for the format, and even plans to adjust and refine. It's built to deliver value right from the start. And here's the bottom line. A clear prompt puts you in the driver's seat. A weak prompt just leaves all the most important decisions, the specifics, the audience, the format, the role, completely up to chance. And you know what they say, Hope is not a strategy. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, it's something that can really change how you think about using AI every day. Here is the most empowering part of this whole thing. This isn't some super technical skill that's only for engineers. Prompting is a communication skill. It's about learning how to ask better questions with real clarity and intention. And it's a skill that absolutely anyone can learn. And when you master this, it's about so much more than just getting better answers. It's about saving yourself hours of time and frustration. It's about making better, faster decisions. It really transforms AI from a cool toy into a genuine strategic partner, something that can give you a real competitive edge. Which brings us to one final, powerful question. Once you stop just hoping the AI understands you and start telling it exactly what you need, the possibilities are pretty much endless. So the only question left is, what will you ask it to achieve?